Well, hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and viewers of YouTube. Welcome back to another gaming review, or should I say race review, here by TA Gaming. So, I did say at the end of the last video, which was Shad Squad 03 Stevie Edition, I would load up the races where I started, the ones that took me a hell of a long time. These the race I'm going to do now, the world record on this race, right, is 7:07 by Carl, and closely followed by 8:09 by Go, right. And this race took me 110 minutes to complete. When I first started out, it was the second, either the first or the second XA race I actually ever tried. It was the first one I found, and at this point I didn't know who Shad was. I didn't know about the Shad Squad. I just know that the race was called XA21 Shad Squad 01, and the description said it was fun and easy. So I thought I'd give it a go. 110 minutes later, and a lot of shouting and swearing, I got it completed. So yeah, I'm going to show you all about it. It's got a rating of 51% right now. It's not had that many plays, I believe. Let me just have a look. I've got the specs up on the Rockstar Social Club. So Shad Squad 01 has currently had 47 thumbs up, 45 thumbs downs, and only 193 plays on the PS4 edition. So maybe it's one you've never tried and you'll want to give it a whirl. So you know, once I've set it up and I've done it, I'll share the link to the to get it from the Rockstar Social Club, so you can bookmark it yourself. Obviously I'm playing on a PS4, so any races that I do bookmark and give you the links for on the description of the video will always be PS4 only links, although a lot of them have been converted to PC. It's not something that I can get the links to because I'm not on PC, and I wouldn't know where to look for them. So I'm going to load this up here now. I'm just waiting for it to load in. I'm going to have a cheeky little swig of my pop, and I'm going to say yeah. So this is Shad Squad 01. It's an early build race by a guy called Christian. That's why it's the CT XA21. He's part of the Shad Squad. You know, he made the races for the squad to play on stream. They're not the best races in the early ones. They're quite slippy. It's obviously when people start creating races, it's nothing against them. This is just a setup review. When they start making the races, they don't know what they're doing 100%. They're kind of learning creator for the first or second time or whatever. You know, he's made some parkour races. They're a lot different to making XA races. You've got to make sure your mesh is smooth. I haven't got a clue how. Never tried it. You've got to make sure it's doubled up. I haven't got a clue. Never tried it. So these are early races. These are like his starter races. This is the first ever one he's made for an XA. So it's slippy. It makes your kart work. But it's completable, it's doable, and it's raceable, and it's playable, and it can be done in 7 minutes. You know, 7 minutes 7 seconds is the world record on this race. I don't know if he's still monitoring world records or updating them, but that is the fastest that's known. It's raining right before we do this as well, so it's going to be a little bit wet. It's going to have some wetness on there. But without further ado, we're going to get straight into Christian's race right now. We're going to show you what it's all about. It's a very, very basic, very simple race. I think most people that are just starting out on the XA series should be able to do this. They may struggle, they may spend 110 minutes on it, they may not, they may fly through it in 10 minutes. I usually go between 12 and 16 minutes, it's about average. I don't race it, I play it for fun, just solely because it's the one that got me started. Without further ado, I'm going to dive on into the race now, and we'll see you on the racetrack in just a few minutes. So here we are, Shad Squad 01, very simple race, quite slippy, but still well built for a beginner race, So let's coming down. I don't understand the slow pad at the beginning, but if the car would fire up, that'd be cool. So as you come down here, you've got to make sure you're in the right line because it's linked, and then it's a little bit of a jump to the next ramp. Whee! Push forward on the car to make sure it gets there. And then again, another little jump. Whee! And then it'll slow us down right down here, just as you think you're flying along here. Whoosh. Obviously, you could flip that to land on your wheels, but I'm not too bothered. It'll put me on my wheels eventually. Right, so this, you'll see as I go up this, you'll see the twerking. Now this, you've got to go up quite fast. Look at the back end of the car. Bum, 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 bum. Early days. Nothing wrong with it. And then it's a big jump. Try and rotate the car through, and if you can correct your glide with a handbrake like that and land. Then you come along, you do a little wall ride. At the end of the wall ride there's a train to go through, so just go through the train. The slower will put you on your wheels, and then a checkpoint. So onto the mesh. Again, it's quite bouncy, quite slippy, as you can see, but it's a mesh transfer. Have I got it? Have I got it? No, I'm too low. Slightly too low, but there's only one mesh transfer here, so it's nice and easy. As I say, it is quite slippy, it is quite bouncy. Just maintain your acceleration and you'll get it. And then you come and move up a piece of mesh, and then you're coming onto a wall. Now again, we'll go onto a spiral, and I believe at the top of the spiral there's a skinny. You see my car's twerking for you. It's twerking like you want it. So nice and slow onto the skinny. It'll hold you because it's a skinny. It's grippy. It's a grippy mesh. Now this used to be my favourite part of the race. There used to be a thing here where it was called the awesome Sidestep, and I invented it, and they named it after me, and then they changed it. As you see the little red and white borders that go across to stop you going around the road, they actually had to make them longer because you could sneak round them, but now you can't, so you've got to do it properly. You've got to just drop down onto the wall and then come back out. It's so simple. As long as you're carrying enough speed, you can drop down onto the wall, stay nice and high, and then come back out and get yourself a little checkpoint. Now this is where the slippiness comes in. If you're not used to it, it'll take you a few attempts. But we're going to go down this tube, and we're going to go down to this way. So we're going to jump on into the tube, and I will just let it roll down quite slow. Tap it a little bit with acceleration every now and again, and then when you get to just above where you're going out, I would go around a couple of times just to line yourself up, because it is quite bumpy. You see, we're twerking everywhere, we're sliding everywhere. I could have come out of that a bit faster, which may have stopped that, but it's just to show you it is a very slippy race, but still it's raceable, it's doable. It's all down to your confidence as you go around it. When I first started this race, I wasn't confident at all in what I was doing. So being so slippy and so bouncy really affected me. But now I'm a little bit more keyed up on it. It doesn't really affect me that much. You get used to seeing your car twerking. So we're coming into here, and then we're gonna go up and then jump onto, oh no, don't do that. I put too much power on the back end spun. So it's literally, once you get down to the bottom of here, you go across the little thin piece onto a little flip onto the mesh wall, and then you do a little jump to the checkpoint. So I'm going to try and get back down there a little bit faster than what I have been doing for showing you how to do it. So now some people choose to stop on this. You don't have to, because you're going to drop down anyway. And then it's just to drop down onto the bit, and we're back at the starting line now, which is where we started, and you'll see what I mean. There's the little slowdown that put you up above. And now we're coming through this bit, which you again hit the slowdown, and you think, oh, we're going back on ourselves. We are and we're not. It's going to drop us onto the bottom road. We started on the top road, now we're on the bottom road. Now we start getting some wall flip action. So I think we've got one wall flip, and there's obstacles, so you've got to dodge them, and then you've got your one wall flip. I've gone really early, but it's doable. And then it's a big jump over the river to the checkpoint, so just come off high. I'm probably a little bit lower than that would have done, but I can always turn around and go back and get the checkpoint. And then it's quite fun through the Dockland. There's a big arrow there showing you where to go. You don't have to use a ramp to jump over the fence. It will open up for you as you get towards it, but it's a slow process. And then we're going to jump up onto the mesh. The car's going to rotate or not, and then we're going to go through a train, which I don't know how I got through with that wheel spin, but we did. Now as you come up this one, there's a little knuckle to avoid up here. To see that he's covered the crane with a block because it hits you, and then you can come in here and just rotate around the roof and then just floor it on down. There is a hole in that tube, but you shouldn't fall down it. And then we're onto the road, down the road, and there's a train with a stop sign, which usually, no matter how fast you're going, is always in your way. Like, look at this. Are you ready? Are you steady? I'm gonna have to stop. Always in my way. Then we've got a couple more wall flips to do, so we're going to do a wall flip and then go into a checkpoint, and we're going to come back and do a wall flip. So wall flip, we're going to go down under the arrow. Well, that was a good turnaround, Steve. Grab the checkpoint. Hammer yourself out. Now this time we're going to go under this arrow, and then we're going to go under the next arrow. You see, we came across about here. Now we're going a bit further along because it's taking us round, and then there's a wall flip here, which is nice and tight but nice and easy. And then keep your foot down along this wall ride. You see there's another arrow keeping you down, and then a raise up, so you're going to pop up to the top to make the jump. Get a bit of rotation going on the car. Make sure you land it nice and steady. A couple of little garages to avoid. This one's a tight one, so I just slam it in with the handbrake, zigzag around. We're going to jump back up onto the road where it all started, not over the road, Steve, onto it, thank you. And then we're going to nip up the road. See, there's a train with the exclamation point. In a second it's going to put us across onto the other lane. And then we're going back into the tube where it all started. This is the point of the race that that buggered me up all them months ago when I first started out. Because you've got to go from this checkpoint, and you see there's the hole. So you've got the arrow, it's showing you. It's a loop to get back out. So it's like up and round like a barrel roll. Onto the spiral, bounce around, avoid the two blocks that are covering the crane, come across the wall, avoid the obstacles on the wall, go back through the train, which sometimes I hit but not today, and then we're going up now instead of down. You see, we came on from the down, and this is where it gets sketchy because you've got to do a mesh flip, and that is the checkpoint there, that mesh flip that took me 110 minutes. Because it's so bouncy and so slippy. But we won't take 110 minutes on it today, I promise you. I slowed down on it a lot for that first show, just to show you what was coming. So the slower you go as well, the bouncier you seem to be. So getting through the train is an obstacle in itself. Just like that, you see. And then you've got to come up high to get onto this one. And then that's it now, it's a run to the finish line. It's literally, we've got a big jump up here and a bob, there's plenty of boosters for. It's pushing my car sideways, but it doesn't matter because it's a massive platform to land on, so that doesn't matter at all. Then we're going around the loop-de-loop. all high speed to the finish line now. I'm going to drop down, there's a little ramp to make it nice and smooth. And it's a nice jump to this checkpoint. I'm probably going to overshoot it, but no, we've got it. And then it's a jump to the finish line, and that is the race done. As I say, when I first started, it took me 110 minutes. And I've just knocked 100 minutes off that. So thank you very much for watching. Shad Squad 02 will be the next video, and we'll see you there very soon.